I am deeply honored to receive this award, named for a man whose unflinching courage in the face of evil saved the ancient Jewish community of Zakynthos. It is particular significance for me since my family came from Greece, from Salonika, Greece. Growing up, my friends were all eating tuna fish and peanut butter jelly sandwiches, but my Greek grandmother was making me feta and spinach sandwiches, so I knew I was a Greek Jew. I guess the one negative to being a Greek Jew is the fact that they didn't speak Greek, nor did they speak Hebrew, nor did they speak Yiddish. They had their own language, Ladino, since the Jews in Salonika had pretty much all come from Spain in the 1500s. Fortunately, my grandmother and grandfather left in time around 1912 after World War I, and my mother was born in the United States. But I grew up hearing stories about the terrible fate of the Greek Jews during the war. I didn't know my grandfather. I was about 3 years old when he passed away, but my grandmother felt that he died at such a young age because he was never able to understand the loss of his entire family and all his friends and everyone he knew during the Holocaust. In spite of the widespread Nazi propaganda that portrayed the Jews as dangerous aliens, most people in Greece saw their Jewish compatriots as Greeks. This was the message of Metropolitan Chrysostomos to Nazi authorities who demanded they identify the Jews on Zakynthos. And this is why the people of Zakynthos risked their own lives to take in their Jewish neighbors and hide them for months. The example of Zakynthos is not unique. Thousands of Greek Jews escaped the Holocaust thanks to the help of their fellow Greeks. In Athens, the Greek Orthodox Church under Archbishop Damaskinos provided false baptismal certificates to Jews and hid them in monasteries, convents, and orphanages. The Athens police provided false identity documents to Jews and helped rescue Jewish children. The Greek resistance movements provided refuge to Jews in the mountains, guided many to safety in Turkey, and took at least 650 into their ranks. It is truly a tribute to the solidarity and humanity of the Greek people that most of the Jews of Athens, Volos, Larissa, and other communities survived. And yet, the brutal truth remains that by the end of the war, Greece had lost nearly 90% of its Jewish population. 90%. For the city of my forefathers, Salonika, the loss was almost complete. Salonika at the time had about 50,000 Jews living there. It was considered the Jerusalem of Greece, and 48,000 perished. Terrible tragedy. Settled by Jews expelled from Spain in the 15th century, Salonika grew to become, as I said, the Jerusalem of the Balkans. It was the preeminent center of Sephardic culture, called the Mother of Israel. Its famous schools attracting students from throughout Europe and the Middle East. In just 2 years, Jewish Salonika was destroyed. The Nazis looted the city's Jewish archives, libraries, and synagogues, and forced thousands of Jewish men to build roads and railways in malaria-infested areas. To buy the men's release, the Jewish community turned over its 450-year-old cemetery. Within weeks, up to 500,000 graves were completely decimated by the Nazis. Then, in 1943, the Germans shoved Salonika's Jews into cattle cars that traveled for days to reach Auschwitz. Of those who survived the long, horrible journey, the vast majority met immediate death in the gas chambers at Birkenau. Hundreds of those temporarily spared were subjected to horrendous medical experiments. Death came to Greece's other Jewish communities in 1944. Methodically, the Germans destroyed ancient Jewish centers like Rhodes, Crete, Corfu, and Yanina. In all, the Germans deported nearly 60,000 Greek Jews. At most, 2,000 returned. The fate of the Jews of Greece is what has brought me here today. It has taught me the power of hate, when left unchecked, to unleash unspeakable horror and destruction, and has taught me the power of ordinary citizens to confront the forces of hate. Thank you for honoring me with this wonderful award. I consider it a special tribute to my lost family and to all Greek Jews and to the 6 million others who perished under the Nazi conquerors. Thank you.